Now that the combine is over, I think this is a really good time to look over what the options are for teams like the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, for my Vikings, I don't know what could happen. It's whatever. But for teams like the Raiders that only have a couple of needs, I think this could get really interesting really fast. So there's a couple different things we need to look at here. I think we need to start on the defensive side of the football. I think that's where the emphasis needs to be this offseason. Now, yes, do I want him to get another wide receiver like Devontae Adams, one of those guys that could really stretch the field? Yeah, I would love it. Here's the thing. The defense that Derek Carr has had to play with for the last however long has never been in the top 15 in the NFL. Never, not once. Now it's been close, but overall, I think we all saw, especially later in the season when this team was playing like a top unit in the NFL. That's right. Go back and look at the stats. We proved it. Yeah, go look back at that video. I feel like, and we can provide that in the description too below. In fact, we'll do that, okay, to back up what we're saying here. But here's the thing. I think it comes down to the fact that the biggest emphasis needs to be on the defense. And again, I would like them to sign a wide receiver in free agency. In fact, I think they will do that because it's a big need. And this is honestly, out of all of the different free agents, I feel like wide receiver is the one that could bear the most fruit and potentially make the most sense for the Las Vegas Raiders moving forward. However, here is, in my opinion, I think there are 3 players in the draft, in the first, second, and third round that the Raiders could really take advantage of here that I think will immediately elevate the Raiders defense and make them at least in that 15, maybe just a little bit below, but this will immediately, there's 3 players that will elevate the Raiders team. And I think it all starts with, and by the way, this is kind of done in necessarily in order. So if our first players take in the first round, second, and the second, third, and third. So, but also I think for these 3 players, the first one I think that could fall to the Raiders. It's possible, or you could find another potential player. What I'm trying to say is we tried to make this as realistic as possible. If they take this first player with that first pick and these next 2 follow, I think this could happen. We'll have to see how it all unfolds, but it could happen. So we'll go Raiders player number 1 that I think could immediately elevate this defense, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean is a stud. He is an absolute stud. And I feel like, the Raiders for a long time have missed that linebacker in the middle that just flies around, makes plays, and just makes his presence felt. I mean, if you look at his 3 years here at Georgia, including winning a national title this last year, I mean, just look at him. 10.5 tackles for loss this last year, 6 sacks, 2 picks, 2 picks, 1 for a touchdown, 1 pass defense. So listen, Nakobe Dean is a difference maker. And if he would have ran at the combine, I bet you he probably would have ran in that 4.4, 4.5 range. The man can just flat out move. And I feel like moving forward that the Raiders need to make a huge push to make sure that they draft him because he is a difference maker, and especially at the middle of that defense. Don't get me wrong. Denzel Perrion, he's going to be your starter for a little bit. If you have a 3-4 defense with Denzel Perrion and a guy like Nakobe Dean, come on, that would be a sick defense. Come on, that would be nasty. Those 2 boys in the middle. So I think moving forward, that definitely needs to be a big focus. And I think you draft him. I think he could fall to 22. I really do, especially for how some of these other players are rising up draft boards. And if that is, that's a godsend for Also, guys. And here's another thing. We're also going to come out with a top 3 defensive tackles that I think could that need to be on the Raiders' radar. And obviously Travis Jones falls in that category. Devontae Wyatt falls in that category. But the second player that I think he really needs to be on the radar, especially in the second round, I think he goes towards more in the end of the second round, is defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey. This man is a menace. Look at his Senior Bowl tape. Just look at what he did that entire week. Look at what he did when he was up there at Oklahoma. Now, I will admit there's a reason he's not a first-round draft pick. There were times you were kind of left questioning, like, what's going on? But the things you love about him, he hustles. He has got man-sized strength. He's got that bull rush. He's got a couple of other pass rush moves. He's got a mean stab and spin move. There's a lot of different things that he brings to the table. Now, is there some things you'd like him to clean up? Yes, there's a reason he's not a first-round draft pick. But this would be tremendous value picking him up in the second round. Now, again, I think he tends to go towards more in the late second round. But overall, Perrion Winfrey, I think that just this last year, we saw a guy that really came out of his shell a little bit. If you look at his senior year here, had 5.5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. for the Sooners, and I think you're going to see a guy again. It's not even just the fact of what he does in the pass rush game. He's got some things he needs to prove on in that regard, and the run game as well. But overall, you saw a guy that even just the fundamentals, I mean, how he rips out the football. He's always looking to make a play for you. So this would be a player that I think immediately elevates the Raiders defense. And I think, put him in there with Darius Fallon, all those boys, oh man, he would just be a lot of fun to watch. And I think, again, late in the second round, you can either trade down, trade up for him, but I think he would make a lot of sense. Raiders player number 3 that I think needs to be more in consideration here, Kaiir Elam. I mean, this guy, listen, Kaiir Elam is probably going to be that early second-round draft pick. So the Raiders, obviously, they've got some maneuvering to do for both Winfrey and Elam. But listen, I don't care because these two players are going to be of tremendous value and of tremendous they're just going to be the best players. They're honestly, that's just the flat cut and dry of it. They are the players that if you get, especially these last two players in Elam and Winfrey, I mean, man, immediate upgrades over your current defense. And again, the Raiders already have a second round pick. They could trade up and then trade back into the second towards the end of it and grab Winfrey and get Elam with their first pick. But listen, this is a huge kind of a play and a huge kind of a player, excuse me. And the Raiders, listen, for a team that's kind of, let's face it, in win now mode, if they can grab these two players on their rookie contracts that could immediately come in and start right away and make a lot of difference, that's what the dream is. That is absolutely what the dream is. And I think Elam, especially if you kind of look at the things he's done at Florida, I think there's a lot of things that you can learn to like about him. Now, again, I do think that there is, we'll just bring it up here. There is some things, obviously all these guys have things they need to improve on, but a guy, that's had 5 interceptions, somewhat of a ball hawk, also had a couple tackles for loss. Not going to be in that box guy, but he's in that, 6', 6'2" range, 190, 200 pounds. He's got speed for days. I think he ran a 4.47 at the combine. So listen, he's got the speed, he's got the length, he's got everything you want. And these 3 players would immediately elevate that. I mean, we're talking about cornerstone players for the Raiders moving forward. And I think Elam and Winfrey, I think, again, you're going to have to do some maneuvering. You're going to have to find a way to make it happen, but you will not regret it because I think these are 3 immediate players that will make a huge difference for the Las Vegas Raiders defense. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. We'd greatly appreciate it. Also, give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about these 3 players that we believe could immediately elevate the Las Vegas Raiders defense.